This is old school. People don't come knocking.
People don't do this anymore. That's why we're out here at the doors talking face to face, because
Okay.
people have complex views, right?
Right.
And there's nuance.
Mhm.
But if you turn on TV, there's no no nuance, there's no subtlety, right?
Right,
It's just
right.
like red, blue, and that's it. Ready? I'm ready. Awesome. So we're here with Kenny.
Yes.
Kenny's a registered voter in Brea, and you're independent, you said, right?
Yes, and even though I voted, if you check my record, it's more Republican
Yeah.
than
Cool.
it has. Yeah.
So thanks for going on with us, first of all. It means
Okay.
a lot. So tell me a little bit, we were talking a little bit about spirituality, and I was saying that sometimes Congress in particular feels kind of like a spiritually bankrupt place. People are in it for themselves and not as much for servant leadership. And one of the reasons I'm running is to bring kind of a spirit of servant leadership to Washington. So we were talking a little bit about that, and you were telling me about your faith and how it informs your life and your politics. So tell us a little bit more, and would love to hear,
Okay.
don't mince any words, tell it to us straight, to us straight.
I feel like I'm gonna say the younger generation.
Yep.
My girls, my two girls, one's 39, one's 38.
And I'm 32, by the way, so
Yeah,
I'm in their generation. Yeah.
but I guess something is very, because I do try to align very closely with Scripture. Again, I understand, and I'm a pastor, by the way.
I kind of got that feeling.
So,
The way you speak is very measured and articulate, so I thought
see,
that...
you're all right. I like you.
My roommate, I told you this, my law school roommate's a pastor. So
Okay.
I lived with him for a couple of years, and we both like to talk. So we had a lot of great conversations like this. And he educated me a lot on the Bible. So, and he's up in the East Bay now. So shout out to Ryan if you're watching this later. And so I was really taken when you said that, because that's one thing that he challenged me to do when I was in law school, is to ground my politics more in spirituality and a relationship to God. And even if I don't talk about it publicly, to make sure that I'm coming from a place of purpose, right? So that's why when you said that,
No, I like that.
I haven't heard that before, So tell me about that.
And again, I know this is generalizing. It's not good to generalize. What has been my pet peeve, I mean, I get it, of course, abortion. And I know a lot of folks in California strong on the fact that I have the right, don't try to take away my right. But, of course, I think a little differently. And so when certain things come up, I tend to lean, like I said, I lean more to what Scripture say.
Yeah, so you're pro-life.
Pro-life. And I'm not saying that there's no Democrats that's not pro-life.
There definitely are.
Yeah.
Definitely are.
Yes. So, but I'm just, some of the things that I see. And the other thing, but see, you're going to Congress, so it really doesn't have as much of an impact in California. But I just, the whole thing with the education, I have an issue with, how can I say? I'll just say it this way. My granddaughter, all right, she likes the pronouns. Nothing wrong with the pronouns, like, okay. But on the same,
How old is she?
she's 16.
Okay.
So, the issue I have is the schools being able to have the authority or the power to be able to, in a sense, to me, I'd say it, overrule what the parents' authority is. And that just makes my brain go tilt. It makes no sense to me. Because everything that I read or have studied is that you want to train up your child in the way. And at some point, yes, they go and they make decisions, but you still a minor I have issues with. So those are only two main things, I guess.
Got it.
And
Got it.
and I hate so my wife, she's Democrat, but we believe the
Is that
same.
Laverne?
Yes, Laverne.
Okay.
So we believe the same thing, and so
And where is she? Is she you said she's a Democrat.
yes,
But does she vote like you vote, or does she
pretty
vote?
much.
Okay.
But I don't. We
So
don't,
you guys vote more Republican.
we vote.
Got it. And you're independent, and she's a Democrat.
yes.
Okay. See, I love this because this is a lot of what Orange County is. You know,
Okay.
people think Orange County is like one thing or another, but it's actually very mixed. You know, it's a lot
Yeah.
of like our district is a third Republican. I was telling you, it's a third Republican, a third Independent, third Democrat. It's literally just
Oh,
right down the
really?
middle.
Oh, okay.
And it's a lot of folks like you who don't always vote with their party, right? Or folks like your wife, you know, like Laverne, like she's a Democrat, but she votes more Republican. There's a lot of Republicans I've met who said the opposite. So I'm a Republican all my life. I'll die Republican, but I don't like Trump.
Okay.
And so I voted for Biden. So there's a lot of that.
Right.
And so that's why folks don't really understand Orange County politically, because you know that's why we're out here at the doors talking face to face, because
Okay.
people have complex views, right?
Right.
And there's nuance. But if you turn on TV, there's no there's no nuance, there's no subtlety, right?
Right,
It's just
right.
like red, blue, and that's it. But like you know, the fastest growing group, two things that I thought of when you were talking is the fastest growing political group is, guess what? No party.
Really?
Is your group, is independent.
Oh, okay.
It's the fastest growing group in America, and the fastest growing school in America for under 18 is homeschooling.
Yes.
And it's
Okay.
because of what you said is, you know, I went to public schools all my life. Without my public school teachers, I definitely wouldn't be running for Congress. Sure as hell wouldn't have gone to law school. I would have never made it that far.
Okay.
Because I'm a public school kid, like all the way through. California public schools down in South County.
Okay.
But, you know, parents, I had, you know, I was very fortunate. I grew up in a 2-parent household
Excellent.
all my life. And my dad worked from home a lot. And so I never came home to an empty home.
House. It was yes.
So I had great teachers, but if I didn't have that,
Understood.
doesn't matter, right?
True.
So what you said about parents and the, you know, the parental role being the most important thing,
Yes.
I agree with that 100%, right? And so, and that's something I think as Democrats, even being very pro-public education, we have to be pro-parent also,
Excellent.
right?
Okay.
That's kind of where I come from is like, you know, you can be pro-public safety, pro-civil rights, and pro-law enforcement. You don't have to choose, right?
yes.
But if you turn on Fox, or if you turn on MSNBC, it's like you
know.
gotta pick a team, right?
Right.
But it's not a basketball game, you know. Like, sorry to cuss, but sometimes
Oh,
I get
yeah, right.
I get upset. Like, it's not a sport, right? You know, politics has real impact on people's lives. So
Well,
I
I tell you-
appreciate hearing what you're saying because it feels to me like you're thinking through things independently, right?
Yes.
Rather than just kind of.
Oh yeah. I I get criticized a lot of my.
Probably both sides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Majorly.
You probably get it from your 16-year-old granddaughter from the
Oh yeah.
left.
We have.
Yeah, maybe you get it from your wife for the other side.
Not quite so much from her.
Yeah.
But my youngest daughter, yes, we have different opinions.
Yeah.
On some things, but I will say this: we will be relocating next year to Florida.
To Florida.
Because
Okay.
my oldest lived there, and got 3 grandkids
Okay.
there, and we're gonna move down. But I'm saying all that to say this.
Yeah.
One of the things that when I looked at your flyer,
Yeah.
that I like, and that I know that I'm going to get involved. I don't know how I'm going to get
Great.
involved yet, but
Fantastic.
it's going to be with indigenous Indians and also some of the communities in like the Jacksonville. Basically, what I did is I looked up all the different schools. I know that there are 2 Native American high schools in the southern part of Florida,
Okay.
and I know the different nations.
So you're gonna go preach there, or?
I preach
Oh, great.
education.
Okay, great.
So it's going to be more, and I don't want to go in as a pastor or as a teacher. I'm doing it more as a coach.
Mentor.
Yeah, kind of. And so it's providing a entrepreneur education with a mastery-based
Oh,
learning
great.
approach.
Great.
And it just, the motivation to have a different mindset, to be innovative. Because again,
I heard you talking about venture capital too. So it seems like you have some startup background or experience.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a cool combination. So how'd you become entrepreneurial pastor? That's pretty rare.
Well, it actually started because me and my wife, we actually grew up together. We was in third grade together.
Wow.
And we lived in Baltimore. And in Baltimore, it was an area called Westport. It doesn't exist any. Well, part of it. It was projects. So for me, being there and then seeing the condition, I always wanted to get out and change things. Now, what I'm about to tell you is not that the parents they didn't necessarily condone this or send their children out to do this, but a lot of young girls, and I'm not making this up, 12 and 13-year-olds getting pregnant. But it was kind of okay because it brought more money to the household. And I just felt, things has to change. And for me, the one thing that no one can take from you is once you get knowledge, understanding here, they can strip you, take everything from, but you can always, accumulate it. So for me, education has always been that tool that's needed. And so that's kind of what started it. Athlete, I was an athlete.
What sport?
Wrestling.
Oh, wow.
I was wrestling in high school and college. And then moving into accounting, background was accounting. But I always had that, start my own business. So I have. In the past, I've had consulting firms, tax consulting firms, and helped launch a few other ventures and some internationally.
Cool.
And it's just lately, it's been education. So the lady I was speaking to, she's a pastor as well, a business partner.
Cool.
We're going to be starting out as an online school, the high schoolers. And so we've been working on the curriculum. And then
what's it called? Do you have a name?
Yes, Excelsior Christian Academy.
Great.
LECA. And that part is all set up. The hard part, which I didn't realize, but it's coming, is the curriculum and putting that all together. Because, again, like I said, is based on mastery basis, not with the traditional type learning that we, have now. And so we need the LMS and the platform because we want to use a gaming type approach along with, because it's here already. Fourth Industrial Revolution is here.
Absolutely. And AI is going to just turbocharge it even more, right?
Yes.
So, what I got from my education more than anything is I learned how to learn.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I'm hearing when I listen to you.
Yeah.
Is that you want to teach people not how to fish, not how to, not give them a fish, but teach them how to fish, right? Which is what the coaching part that you mentioned, right?
Because along with that is there's going to be problems that they're going to encounter that don't even exist right now.
Exactly, and we can't even predict that. That's going to be, And it resonates with me because I'm an immigrant. So I was born in India, came here when I was 9, like I was telling you, and only child. So, my parents, that's exactly what they told me is what you just said, which is education, they can never take it away from you.
Yes.
So public schools all my life, and I hated school up until I was probably 16. I wanted to be an athlete. I played basketball. I played football for a couple of years, anything but the classroom. I was happy to do it. And then finally, I joined the debate team, and it gave me something that I liked. For the first time, I really liked, and I was pretty good at, and that's when I started getting interested in school. And then you couldn't get me out of school. Then I went to college, did 3 years of law school, I did a master's for a year, became a lawyer. Then it was then I just became a nerd. But until I figured that out. So it's that once you find something you like, that's when I find kids get excited. And so to me, the secret sauce of America is public education, public infrastructure, roads, bridges, a sane and humane immigration system, right? So we have a strong border, but we have legal immigration because we need immigrants, right?
I have nothing wrong with
we want to make it easy. It was a pain in the butt for my family, and we got lucky, but it took us a long time. I've only been a citizen 10 years, right?
Okay.
And I've been in this country 24.
Gotcha.
So 14 years is just a long wait, right?
Yes.
And I felt as American as any other kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Those three things, right? So my mom is a
Absolutely.
small business owner, so I worked for her basically since I was in middle school. I made her first website, and I just did
excellent.
little things for her basically all my life. But it's what you're saying is if you have the education, well, then you can go out there and do whatever. Then you can start a business.
That's
and
true.
You could,
So
do
you remind me
ventures.
of my dear, matter of fact, we're going to be together tonight. My
Oh, great.
friend, I think his father was an ambassador for India.
Oh, cool.
And he's retired and stuff now. But when he came,
He was the Indian ambassador to the U.S.?
well, okay, CP is my friend.
Okay.
So his dad was in India, but
Okay.
he would travel back
Got
and
it,
forth
got
because
it.
he was an ambassador. And but CP, he's just brilliant. But he's gone and he's launched several businesses and took a couple of them public.
Wow.
But his focus has been trying to work with individuals to help them to be able to grow their own companies and so forth
wow.
as well.
That's great.
So that's good.
Fantastic.
Well, yeah, I have to say, again, this is old school. People don't come knocking.
People don't do this anymore. No, we're
so-
old school. We're trying to do some old school and some new school. So
Okay.
we wanna knock on doors because this is just something that we feel, which is, people don't talk to each other anymore like this, and everything is either TV or the internet, and it's really easy to be mean, and to be toxic, and to have
Okay.
unproductive conversations online, right?
Yes.
But when you meet somebody face to face, like you and I, we don't agree on everything, right? We should circle back to abortion because that might be something we actually disagree on because I think we have a lot of common ground.
Yes.
That might be one thing where I disagree with you a little bit, but we have to talk to each other.
I agree.
Because as one of your neighbors was telling me that, she's a Trump supporter and she felt like if she wore a Trump hat that she would be attacked, in Orange
wow.
County, so she couldn't express her beliefs.
Oh, okay.
And I've heard something similar from folks who are Democrats sometimes, not around here, but in other parts of Orange County. And we can't,
Oh, yeah, no.
we can't, that's not America if people
Right.
aren't allowed to express their political beliefs. Now, I don't like
I
Trump.
agree.
I've never voted for him.
I understand.
But I respect the people. I respect the people who have. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
it's half the country.
Understood. Yeah.
So, and I can't. I don't want to live hating half of my countrymen, right? So, but if you watch cable news, you feel like everybody's at each other's throats, but we're not, right?
See, I'll just share this really quick. When I lived in Arizona, I was attending the Presbyterian Church, and John Cadiz was running for office, but I liked him. I didn't even know what he was running for, but I liked him. So I told him, I said, "Oh, I heard you running, John. I want to help you out." So he ended up calling me that night, and he says, "Do you know what I'm running for?" I said, "Doesn't matter. I said, I'm going to help you." He said, "Well, I'm running for Congress." I said, "Oh, really?" Then he was quiet. He said, "Well, because it's a stereotype. There is a stereotype. Most blacks seem to be Democratic."
Right.
And,
right.
and from Texas, and I've always voted independent, but in Arizona, you had to pick. You had to pick, in the primaries, either Republican.
Right.
So.
You don't have to here, by the way.
Right.
We have an open primary, so you don't.
Yeah.
But, sorry, go ahead.
So he said, you know I'm Republican. I said, no, but it doesn't matter. But the thing, it did matter because he literally took me to his campaign office. He said, well, meet me at such and such at 7. I want to introduce you to my team. And while we got off the elevator, we walked into the office, and you could hear everyone in there talking and having a good time. But when we walked in, they looked, just dead silence. And he was
Because they
trying-
assumed you were a Democrat just because you're
I'm
black.
the spy, right?
Okay.
Why do you have him in here?
Yeah.
And
Right.
so,
Well, that's called profiling. I
yeah,
mean, that's
right. And
of course.
of course, it didn't matter. At first, I continued,
Yeah.
but he had a campaign in Tucson. had the bus and we all was gonna go down.
Yeah.
And my wife kept saying, you know they don't, why you, I don't understand. You know they don't want, I said, nah, I'm doing this for John. So we showed up to go, and I don't know who the lady was, but she said, hey, Ken, can you do me a favor? We need such and such. Can you go to the store? And I said, yeah, I can do that. My wife looked at me, you know they're gonna be gone when you get back, right? I said, no, they're not gonna do that. That bus was gone.
Really? Wow.
But again, I don't blame John. It's just how the thinking.
Yeah.
And then when I was in Houston, my first ever, I belonged to this, what they call the Black Caucus at that time. I mean, I'm still in college. And so I was just impressed because they had judges and all these people. And so they would, different people would come in, and what they would do, they interview them. And they had a track record. Whoever they endorsed got elected. And so I still remember this I don't think he was running for city council, whatever. We'll go out. We don't go out and talk to nobody.
Yeah.
So, and this is why they feel about this, and they're going on. I'm thinking, man, did I miss it? Because by this time, I had been with him almost 2 years, and I'm thinking, we have never gone out. And what it was is, as you got elected, and I'm not saying anything wrong with it, but what they would do is they would give judgeships and other, the little
patronage. Yeah.
Yeah, the kickbacks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This was so. Yeah. I'm not, again. I admire you, and
But I'm probably corrupt, is what you're saying.
No. That's what
I mean, that's the part of politics that I don't like.
Right, but I'm gonna go there. This is.
And I'm running for the first time, and I'm glad you bring that up because I've seen that already. Right, I've been doing this 6 months, and already.
You see it.
Yeah, because folks try to buy you off, or they want you to give them a favor for their support, right? So it's not like because I don't want to assume that you support me yet, but what I love is if folks say, I support you because I think you'd make a heck of a United States representative.
Well, that's where I was going.
Okay.
I gave you that long story to say this. I feel like God has given me the spirit of discernment. Everyone has gifts. Mine has been people. And I can tell you a whole bunch of stories.
I could tell, yeah.
But to say that, I'm telling you, just meeting you, will you make mistakes? Yes, absolutely. All of them. No one's perfect. But you're sincere.
Thanks.
And everything. And I think you would make a good congressperson.
Thank you, sir. That means a lot.
Absolutely. I have no problem.
Thank you. Can I count on your vote?
Yes, sir. I'll vote for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
March 5th.
March 5th.
Yes,
Okay.
Sir.
Sounds good.
And tell your wife, too, please.
Oh, absolutely.
And tell her mail-in ballots drop early February, so you can vote by mail if you want.
Okay.
But it's an open primary, so
yeah, no problem.
Democrat, Republican, Independent doesn't matter to us.
Okay.
We just want folks who don't like Washington as it is right now.
Sounds good.
That's kind of what I say. If you like how things are going, I'm not your candidate. But if you want to see a change, that's what we're trying to do. And I hope I make you proud, And I'm glad you brought that up because you will be disappointed in some of the things that I do. Because there's nobody, unless you run yourself, there's no human being you're going to agree with 100%.
No.
Right? But I think what I promise folks is that I'll always be honest with you about where I stand. You'll never have to wonder what I believe. And you're going to love my effort.
Excellent.
You're going to love my effort.
And I'll say this, I learned this a long time ago. There's a difference. If you a pastor, you know who you're working for. Politician, working for the people.
Yes, sir.
And so it's like they just can't align with everything that you believe. And so I'm okay. I'm okay with it. And so.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for going on camera. That's awesome.